Yeah, I should win just because you had the Timberwolves in the 8th seed.
Vasilevsky's been playing really well, and the Lightning have great offense.
Yeah, it was a tremendous shot, and I've come to expect it from LeBron. I would say I wish the best for the Red Sox, but as a Yankees fan, that's really hard for me to do.
The biggest addition to me is Jalen Brunson.
Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, and that's all I have to say. He's still a top 5 quarterback in this league, and there's nothing really anyone can do about it.
Why'd you have to name him? Like, seriously. Thanks, man.
Who would have thought 5 years ago that the Clippers and Nets would be facing in the finals?
How is Joe Burrow going to get the ball to them if his butt is already on the ground?
Crazy. And for the fans at home,
Hello, I'm Cy Mendenhall, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. And as the season is coming up, before we get to our season predictions, Austin, we have to think about what teams have high expectations this year. And we have 4 of not just high expectations, but it's a Super Bowl or bust season for them. And this was difficult. I think we can go into one team that we did not include was the Green Bay Packers. And I can understand why. I understood their argument, but I do think they kind of have some leeway of figuring it out this year because they haven't gone too far in the playoffs yet.
Yeah, that's completely true. And because of that, there's still some iffiness regarding whether or not they should be included. But I do think they're contenders. So just because you're not on this list doesn't mean you're not a contender. But these are the teams that are, it's a Super Bowl appearance or it's a busted season.
Yes, it is really, this is all it is right now. And a few teams, like also teams that are not on the list, Eagles, because they won, so they're exempt for this year, and the Chiefs. It feels like the Chiefs, it's kind of understandable. You've gone 3 straight years to the Super Bowl. You shouldn't really expect it a 4th straight time.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's the same thing I thought whenever I did it.
Yeah. But now enough of who isn't on the list, who is on the list. And I think one team that it deserves to be on the list and is the Buffalo Bills. Given what was happened over the past few years, and especially last year, they were in the AFC Championship game, and they were right there. So the next logical step is for them to reach the Super Bowl, and if not, it's a bust.
Completely agree. And because of that, the team will have to, I mean, they've had so many chances. I mean, their games against the Chiefs are wildly documented, and they've been waiting a long time to win a ring, and they hope the QB can bring them to that.
Yes. Yeah, and I really think we talk about Sean McDermott. I think the past few years have been, does Sean McDermott have a short leash? Does he have a hot seat? And he's able to prove they had a great season last year after a lot of changes. So to me, it's always he's got to get him farther. And you also does place a lot on Josh Allen because he is a top QB. And yeah, he won MVP last year. But it starts getting the question, can he do it in the playoffs if you don't have a ring?
That's the question, right? I think QB especially is the one spot in sports where if you don't win one, it does tarnish your legacy more than I think. I mean, NBA is close, but because of the power a QB has over a roster, I think that those players are just held to such a high regard that winning a title. I mean, look at how the conversations around Jalen Hurts have shifted during this offseason. So he has to win one.
That's a great point. And it really doesn't, it's not a context discussion. It really goes, well, he doesn't have a ring, so how great can he be?
Exactly.
So now I'll let you choose the next team.
Let's go with a team that was in the NFC Championship game not too long ago, the Detroit Lions. They've had some injuries before. This past season they had plenty of those, but there's no excuses. When you have the coaching, when you have the players that you had for this organization, I mean, they expect to succeed consistently.
Yeah, and the part where, yes, the next logical step for them is the Super Bowl, but maybe it's me being cautionary. They have 2 new coordinators because Aaron Glenn left and Ben Johnson left. So it's going to be trouble for them, but it is for a city filled of disappointment, suddenly filled with hope. There's a lot of pressure to get at least to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's a fair way to put it. Getting to the Super Bowl is the next step in their growth as an organization. And think about it, Goff's already been there, right? So he's trying to win it. Now, it's definitely going to take plenty of time for the rest of the guys to reach it, but this is the season for them, in my opinion, to kind of get it done. It looks like Aiden Hutchinson's coming back well from injuries, which is important. And if he can stay healthy this year, their defense looks solid. Now, I do think it's the weaker part of their team, but if we're talking about whether or not they can win a title, I definitely think they're on a good path there.
Yeah. And now we can go to another team also in the AFC, the Ravens. They were in the AFC Championship game 2 years ago. Then, to me, what pushes them is Derrick Henry signing with them last year. And this year, he had a full year with the team. He's getting older. He's not getting any younger. To me, he's already played at a high level despite his age. And then they also bring in DeAndre Hopkins, who's getting older as well, to help the wide receiving core. There's only so much they can do because Derrick Henry being there just makes their running game unstoppable, quote unquote, because you have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. The problem has been other parts, such as the passing game, and sometimes not using the running game. But given that that duo only has a certain limit because of Henry's age, that is why they're on the list of you have to capitalize on this now.
Yeah. Derrick Henry is old. So is a lot of those receivers you mentioned. I do like Rashad Bateman. Zay Flowers is also younger, but Mark Andrews is getting up there in age. DeAndre Hopkins is getting up there in age. Their secondary is really good this year, and I think that that's going to be their best part on defense. But they do have some guys that are going to take a little bit longer to develop. And, I mean, there's guys like Nate Wiggins, who I really like, but is progressing really well as a corner. But, again, those younger guys need to be led by Lamar. I think Lamar and Josh Allen are in a very similar point in their career. They both, I mean, Lamar's won multiple MVPs, Josh Allen's won one. But the way where they are in their career, a title or at least a Super Bowl appearance is what is expected of them.
Yes, yeah. That is why the Bills and Ravens, one of them's going to lose, and it could just be one of them has to face each other, or they face each other in the AFC Championship game. I remember we talked about that with the discourse of whoever lost that Ravens-Bills game was going to be viewed as a loser compared to the other. And that's what happened with Lamar Jackson. Can he win it? So it really is tough because I want a happy ending for Lamar and just happy discourse with him, especially and Josh Allen as well. But there's going to be a lot of questions for one of these teams, maybe both.
Yeah, 100%. And those questions will be entirely around the fact of can they win whenever the pressure is the highest, and that comes in the playoffs.
Yes, exactly. Now to the final team, the San Francisco 49ers. Now they're dealing with a lot of injuries. But to me, it's always that's the next step for them. They've demonstrated they can dominate the regular season, that they can get to the Super Bowl, but under different iterations of with different quarterbacks the past few years, they haven't been able to get it done. 1 year was Jimmy Garoppolo and the Chiefs, and then it was Brock Purdy and the Chiefs, and they did not win then.
Yeah. It looks like Brock Purdy is going to be the franchise QB for them for a long time. And he's had success. I mean, he looks good. Last year he was good. The problem was so many guys got hurt. And injuries are inevitable, especially in a sport like this one. But It seems like them and the Lions were in the same regard of consistently being injured and consistently not playing to where they expect themselves to be because of those injuries. Now, I do expect the 49ers to be healthier this year. CMC, I don't think he's going to be affected by injuries as much as he was last year. The tendinopathy, or whatever it's actually called, it looks like it was not as bad as it was supposed to be or projected to be, and that's a good thing for them. They're going to be in a much better situation of actually succeeding with him as their main offensive threat. George Kittle is still there. He's getting older, but he has not yet dealt with any major injuries, knock on wood, for Niners fans. And I think that expectation is that he's going to be another big part of their offense. Now we'll see what happens with Ayuk. Whenever he comes back from injury, Juwan Jennings has been dealing with injuries over the offseason. They do have the second-year guy, Ricky Pearsall, as well. So they have some question marks in the offensive end, but as long as their defense stays healthy, they'll have a good defense. They'll have a good line. Again, it just depends on health for them.
Yeah, and you talk about CMC. He's another, similar to Derrick Henry. How long can CMC be this type of level? And he is such a huge part of that Niners offense that they're going to have to refigure that offense out once CMC is no longer part of the team. So you got to capitalize on it.
Totally. I think that's definitely extremely important for them to take advantage for as long as CMC's on the roster. And I think that's true for a lot of players on this team, like Kittle as well. I think that their ability to succeed with those guys on the roster is extremely important.
Yeah, so that concludes our Super Bowl or bust list. Let us know your thoughts in the comments if you have disagreements. If you think the teams that we had off should be on, or teams that we have on, they should be given some more patience. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.